and welcome to Yoga Jaedra. Today we're going to go over Ustrasana or Camel pose. Camel pose is a heart opener. It's going to open the digestive region. It'll get into the hips a little bit. It's also a really good strengthener for the back and for the legs and even the neck region. So go ahead and grab your mat. We're about to begin. So we'll start in this hero's pose, just sitting on the heels. I'm going to lift up into kneeling, and as I get up into kneeling, I'm going to separate my knees about hip width apart, so just a little space there. And from here we'll start at the very beginning. I'm just going to place my palms, fingers pointing down, on my lower back, my sacrum area. And then gently press the hips forward and lift the heart up. Already getting into the hips a little and opening the heart. And opening the digestive area as well. And as you strengthen and feel more comfortable here, you can start to push even deeper, and maybe the neck is getting stronger and you can start to lift the gaze up. Next step, I'm going to bring my palms under my feet down to my thighs and press here, and you can see it's kind of encouraging me to get a little deeper into the pose because my hands are a little lower. I'm pressing a little deeper. It's a lot of strength in the core for these ones that are connected to the body. The next step, I'm going to bring my hands all the way actually down to my heels. And just to get my heels a little bit closer to my hands, I'm going to tuck my toes. So now they're a little higher. And I'm going to reach back. You can go one hand at a time, or you can bring both back to hold on to the heels. And now I actually have a little support in my arms, so it's not quite as much core work, but as you can see, it's quite a bit deeper. And I'm still pressing my hips forward. That's really the idea of this pose. And lifting the heart up. And again, you can look forward, or as you feel more comfortable, you can start to lengthen, head back. And maybe you'll walk back up the same way and in reverse of the poses coming down. So I was down on the heels and I came to the thighs, come to the lower back. Next step, feeling comfortable, I'm going to leave my tops of the feet on the floor, so now my heels are a little further away. If ever this gets to be too much on the knees, you can always come back, take a break, hang out in child's pose. You could put an extra pad under the knees, or some mats you can kind of roll up. I guess you could do it with mine, but it's not quite so mushy as some of the other mats. And then you have a little bit more padding under the knees here. Especially if you're on a hard surface. I'm on a carpet, so it's pretty okay anyway. Okay, so here's next step. I'm having tops of my feet on the mat. This time I'll go one hand back at a time. I'm reaching for my heels. So you can see I'm getting a little deeper into it. And coming back up. And that's the full pose. So this is a full Ustrasana pose. If your teacher says, hey, we're going to do camel, this is probably what she's talking about. If you want to have a little fun, I need a little more room, but we'll try. I'm going to bring one hand down and then swing around, bring the other hand down, and come up the other side. So let's try that. I'm going to bring one hand down, coming with the second hand, swing up on the second side, back, and you can just keep going around. I'm going to reverse just to even it out. You could also practice with the wall to get really deep into it. So that will look like coming up to kneeling. Reaching the hands back and walking up and down the wall. Maybe a little further. You can see the head is very nearly touching the earth. Whew. Okay, so doing the Ustrasana with the wall can prepare you for coming all the way down into a back bend. And that's kind of a version of Ustrasana and upward facing bow. So Ustrasana is kind of a combination of Ustrasana wheel. Either way, we're opening up the core, opening up the heart, and strengthening. And that's Ustrasana. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like and subscribe below. It really means a lot to me and to this whole project.